Good morning, good morning. It's the Last Minute Laura show. Good morning, good morning. Hello, hi everybody, welcome back to another day, another episode of the Last Minute Laura morning show. For those of you that are new here, hi. Yes, that is how we intro the show every single time. And also, good morning. I know early this morning. I am going to be leaving super early this morning though. I have a doctor's appointment, or I have therapy, I should say. Well, she's a doctor. I guess it's a doctor's appointment. It's mostly therapy. It's just I have therapy at, what time do I have therapy at? I have therapy at 11, so I need to get out of here by like 10 to 11 so that I can do my therapy. So that the seasonal affective depression doesn't come into my brain. Also that helps. You look so comfy and cute. Thank you, Mary Grace. I am comfy, and I think I look cute too. Good morning. My first ever therapy session today. That's awesome, Jessica. That's really good. I'm excited for you. I hope that your therapist who you are matched up with is good. I hope that it's a good therapist. I hope you don't have to keep looking for another one. For those of you that are new, we do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to hang out and get our day started and stuff, that sort of fun stuff. Oh, hey, Maddie, haven't seen you in a little while. I was using the yarn that you sent me in the last couple of videos. I'm making a blanket and it's going into that blanket, so awesome. And you know what? Before I start crocheting, I know the title says that we're going to be crocheting today. Let me just start off with a brief reminder. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button as you come in, that would be great. And also, I kind of want to start with a little bit of natural dye this morning. Hey, Alex, are you upstairs? No, it's all right. I'm gonna turn on that pot of water again to do some natural dye. I want to do a little natural dye this morning. So, yesterday and the day before, I filmed another tutorial. So, I'm on it. I'm not editing them yet, but I filmed it. So that means that a tutorial for eco-printing, no, a tutorial for flower hammering. Is this the right one? No, this isn't the right piece. Look at how pretty this is. Flower pounding, flower hammering, whatever you want to call it. Look at how pretty this fabric came out. And I did a whole tutorial on how to do each one of these. I hammered each one of these out on camera so that you can see it actually happen and you can see the color change. Look at these two. These are the same type of flower. Anyway, so that's going to be a tutorial that is coming out. I'm very excited about. I hope so too, but they have a fairly large department with a few locations in the area, so I might be able to change to someone at the closest location. Oh, that's cool. Well, I hope that you get a good match, but also I hope that if you don't, you can get a good match in your region easily. Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you, Madeline. Oh man, I want to do that one day. Madeline? Madeline. Yep. So I did the flower hammering tutorial. I filmed that, but also I did some steam bundling, which I've never done before, but I saw somebody else do it and I was like, well, now that's what I want to do. I did it over top of fabric that I had stamped with my chicken stamp, and I think it turned out really cool. I also made a few more stamps yesterday because I'm completely and totally obsessed with it. But what I want to do this morning is another bundle of natural dyeing where we're going to steam it. And we might actually, sorry, I have a sneeze stuck in my nose because it's just flower picking, where we might actually see the results of it by the end of the stream if my pot of water cooperates, basically. I love the chicken stamp. It looks so cute. Thank you, Maddie. I love it too. I actually made a bunch more stamps. I made a thunder stamp. I made a marigold stamp. I made a butterfly stamp. And I made a snake. Let me show you. So I did a marigold. I did a little thunder. I did a little butterfly, a snake. I did a jar. There's a witch's hat, a chickadee. Aren't they fun? I'm totally obsessed with this stamp making fun. I also wanted to show you some of the stuff we've got going on in the garden right now, which I thought the natural dye, the eco printing, whatever this is called, steam bundle dyeing. I'm not a doctor. Anyway, though, whatever this is called, I thought that showing you what was in the garden would work well with this, because I'm going to be using what was in the garden in order to do the bundle of dye bundle. So this is some stuff I picked a few minutes ago. I just wanted to show you how happy the kale is that it cooled down. First, we've got our red Russian kale. It's bug eaten, but we don't really eat it. It's mostly just for the chickens. We ate it a bunch in the spring, but I haven't been cooking with it very much. But the dinosaur kale, the red Russian kale, and the purple kale, look at how healthy and like crunchy. Listen how crunchy they are. How pretty. They look so pretty also up close. They're like, do you see how pretty and ruffly this is? And then I have some Swiss chard. Sorry, I had to think about what it was called. I did some baby Russian kales. And then I have this that I keep forgetting what the name of it is. But it's like, it's got an R word. Maybe it's it's an R word, but it's a type of lettuce. Like you cut it as a baby green, but ours is doing so well. Maybe if I taste it, I'll know what it's called. Ugh, so bitter. Ugh, that is a bitter, it's a bitter green. Whoa. I would say more bitter than kale. I bet you this red Russian kale, this baby kale, it's like pleasant to eat right now. I'm not a big fan of raw kale. It's like very bitter. But since it's cool out now, like it's kind of cold, so baby leaf, radicchio, is that correct? Is that a type of lettuce, Candace? That might be what it is. Anyway, our greens are doing so well in the garden right now. I just wanted to like pick some so that I could show you how pretty they are and also like taste test them. I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of excited to do that. Happy that the kale is yummy. That means I'm gonna have to make some salad. I wonder about the purple kale. It's like, it's so crunchy. Wow, there's like no water in that at all. It's like eating bark or hay. Not bitter though, so that's good. Kale is not my favorite thing to eat usually, so that's kind of fun that it doesn't taste miserable. That means that Alex and I are going to be having some kale because we only have 10 days left, you guys. 10 days until we move out of this beautiful farmhouse, this beautiful house on a farm, I should say. It's not a farmhouse that we live in. But since we only have 10 days left, I want to take advantage of every minute of them. And yes, Thunder is wearing a sweater. It's not cold today. It's actually it's warmer today than it was on Monday. But I was packing all of our handmade stuff and I found all of my hats and like accessories that are crocheted. So Thunder got his sweater, I got my little cowls and my hats. And I'm feeling like sweater weather. Fall ready. Autumnal. I'm feeling autumnal. Okay, so radicchio, that's what it's called. That is correct. I'm pretty sure that's the one that it is. Because I've been calling it that in my head, like that I knew it was an R green, a green that starts with an R. Don't forget to like the video, totally, Maddie. Oh, Maddie, also, I was thinking about you. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I was packing boxes, and as you can see, my bulletin board back here, it's usually where I stick up all of the things that you guys have sent me over the years, like my notes and letters and little, like the things that come with the Amazon packages, like I stick them up there, and I was taking them down. Thunder, no, you don't, you want a piece of kale? Is that, do you think it's food for you? You can have a bite, it's just, it's mostly the chickens that like it. You want to munch on that? You can take it. It's good, it's a treat. He's ripping it up now. Afternoon, Frida, nice to see you. By the way, I didn't even say hi to everybody who's in the chat. Hello. Candace, good morning. Mary Grace, good morning. Sewing, hi. Maddie, good morning. Jessica, good morning. Luz, good morning. Nice to see you. Mary Grace, did I say hi? Good morning. Rebecca, good morning. Louisa, good morning. Slinky, good morning. Nice to see you. I'm glad you guys are all here. Welcome. I'm going to do a little bit of eco-printing, eco-steam print bundling. I'm not going to lie, I can't ever remember what the words for some of these things are, even though like my brain has heard them a lot of times. So I'm going to start with a stick on one end. I'm going to show you how I do this because I decided I'm going to film a tutorial on this. I don't know how to do what I'm doing, but I'm going to show you how, because that's how a tutorial works, is that you just pretend that you know how to do stuff, and then it all works out fine in the end. Isn't that? That's scientific. So I'm just ripping off petals off of my marigolds to get myself started here. Oh my god, I love the smell of marigolds. I wish that I could give you smell-o-vision for this. It's like I want to hold it up to the microphone and have the smell go through the microphone for you. It smells so good. It smells very marigoldy, like it's a very specific smell, like tomato plants in the spring give me the same feeling that marigold plants in the autumn do. I'm gonna tell you once, I'll tell you 1,000 times. You can't sit with me. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do was I wanted to show you some of the cross-pollinations we got with the marigolds from last year's marigolds. So I collected seeds from my mom, I got seeds from Candace, I got seeds from our own garden, and I don't think I purchased any marigold seeds this year, so they're all second generation or Candace's. But I wanted to show you some of the things we had happen with our marigolds because we had some cross-pollination, for sure. Like, I say for sure, I'm not really 100% sure, but I haven't seen this happen otherwise, so I think that's what it is cross-pollination, but I want to show you because we had some really cool color things happen with the marigolds this year. Some things that I haven't seen before. Like we had some different tones come out, and we had some multiple colors of flower come out that haven't come before. So I don't know if the camera will be able to pick up the difference here, but I have two different colorways, two different types of orange marigold here. This is like the regular orange marigold. I don't know how the camera will pick it up. And then there's this orange marigold, and okay, the camera makes them look really similar. This one has a yellow vibe to it. Can you see that in the camera? This one's like a true orange. This one has like a glow. So I've been calling this one Orange Glow. It looks they're really similar. I know they're really similar, but this one has more yellow to it, and they don't usually. Like, this is the only plant I had that came out this golden orange. So that was really exciting. And then another thing that happened that was exciting on another plant is I had cross-pollination with one of the orange and red varieties. So, for example, this is an orange and red variety. This was an orange variety, so this is how it's supposed to look, just an orange flower. But look at what happened to these couple. They didn't get the full effect of this. They just have some little bits of red. Like this one only has like 2 petals, this petal and that petal, and the rest of them are pretty much orange. Same with this one, it's just got a little bit of red happening in the middle. So that's exciting. That's a full plant that is like this. It's not like this plant had some of these flowers. It's like this plant has only flowers that look like this. This plant has only flowers that look like this. So yeah, I'm keeping seeds from all of these to see what we get next year. Cross-pollination is the coolest shiz ever. I agree so hard to that statement that, like, let me just show you some of the other crosses that we've gotten this year. They may have been like crossed last year though, and then they just came to fruition this year. I don't, again, I'm not actually a botanist, I just want to be. So I have a lot of plants that I just want to hold on to. forever now, and I want to show them to you because I love them a lot. Okay, so my mom has a variety that she calls like Painted Lady, and it's probably just a cross that she's made over the years. Yeah, but not the way you want to lose it. Hold on. Maybe put some veggies in it and blitz them. It's just a puree, might be more filling. Oh, Frida, how are you doing? Eating a little. Lost almost 2 kilograms. Jeez Louise, that's a bunch. I can stand to lose a bit of weight, so I'm not worried. Still, though, I mashed out the end so it's not a clear broth, but my ramen has carrots in it too. That's good. Yeah, not the way you want to lose it. Exactly, Candace. Okay, so my mom has a variety that I think she calls it Painted Lady. I feel like maybe she just calls it painted, like they're painted petals. Or maybe she just told me that the petals look painted and I called it Painted Lady. I honestly don't know the origin of why it's called Painted Lady. I don't think that's the actual variety name. I think that's just something that my mom calls it / I call it. Anyway, one plant this year reverted, I guess, to a single color marigold, but it's all red. So these are how the Painted Lady ones come out. They all kind of come out a little different. They have like this glow on a single flower. You'll have all these different colors. But this year we got just these beautiful dark red singles, and they look so pretty, and they make such a dark color on fabric and on yarn. Very interesting, very exciting. And then another one that these are I'm pretty sure these ones are from Candace's seeds because I've never seen them before and I didn't buy them at the nursery. There's 2 varieties, and these are another one where you can tell the difference. Oh, you can tell from that far away, but let me show you up close. So these are both very similar, obviously. Come on. This one, though, is like a sunshine warm yellow, and this one, it's yellow, but it's almost green, and the young flowers, let me grab one of the young ones. They look green. Like, that's green. You know what I mean? Like, of course you would love that yellow, Frida. It's literally a color match to the snot green in my blanket. Green, yellow. Look, see, now you can tell what I'm saying. It's the same color, but this you call it green. You know what I mean? Versus, like, this is a different marigold. So here's 3 different kinds of marigold. Hold on. Yeah, 3 different kinds of marigold, 3 different yellows. And these ones are from like a nursery plant. These have like a gold to them. These 2 varieties are a lot paler, but this variety is look at that. Crazy. They're all bright yellow, but they're all different, and they're all completely different plants. That's 4 different plants. Look how green that looks when you see it with the other yellows, right? Like, that's green for sure. I love weird yellows. One of my roses is highlighter yellow. Like, it kind of hurts your eyes a little, but in a beautiful way, right? And then we've got, of course, I hear you, peekaboo, I just don't see you. We've got the 2 different kinds of dual colored doubles, the red and the orange, and then the yellow and the red. These look so pretty next to each other in the garden. And our marigolds, we didn't plant them knowing what they were going to be, so there's just like all these different, and these bushes are about 2.5 to 3 feet big now, so there's a bunch of different colors just in a big zone. It's kind of like we have like almost like a hedge. So part of it's like we have a garden bed entirely marigold bushes now because everything else is starting to die back. I'm going to be having to harvest our chili peppers today and tomorrow because on Friday we're supposed to have a frost, or we're supposed to have it go down to 3 degrees Celsius. Tons of hot peppers are turned red and ready to harvest. I'm going to do something with them because it's down to the last 10 days, so it's time to start preserving food and herbs and seeds and also pack. But if you guys could see, I've actually packed 10 boxes. So you can see the size of one box right here. It's like, I think it's like 20 inches by 20 inches by 20 inches, like a big box. and I've packed 10 of them just of this room and my craft room. We haven't started packing our kitchen or our bathroom or our bedroom or our clothes or our off-season clothes or Alex's office, just my office and my craft room. But I'm gonna just read you out the labels of the boxes while I rip up some marigolds, because again, I'm starting this morning. Candace, oh, by the way, yes, I did see your suggestion, and I think that's a great idea. And that might be a job for today, actually. I might just take pictures of the individual flowers instead of with the envelope, because I could just go on my phone and take a bunch of pictures. And then when I'm looking at the envelope and being like, what did she mean by double orange? I can just go back to that, like group of pictures. But yes, that was a smart idea. That was a smart idea for the drawing for it later. And yes, I'm going to do that. I forgot to bring it up. Thank you for bringing it up, because I forgot already. We have a rainstorm. I started a fire. Oh, that's awesome. I mean, not the rainstorm part, but having a fire inside. Love that. We might do that before we leave here, so that we've had one more fire. Also, I'm going to be doing, on Friday, you're going to see a big bouquet here for sure, because it's going to be, the season is ending, and our beautiful bachelor's buttons aren't going to survive a frost. Okay, but they don't make a good dye, so we're not going to use them for that. What I am going to do, though, is scatter some petals. If you showed up a little bit late, that's all right. Good morning. I'm glad you're here. I'm doing a little bit of bundle dyeing before we get started on crochet this morning, just because I want to. And you came here to the Last Minute Laura channel, so that's what you're going to see. Oh, I forgot to show you one more kind. Our, I almost said Illuminati, not Illuminati, Umbrella Corp, similar. Our Umbrella Corp marigolds are so pretty. Aren't they fun? And they make such a pretty color. So what I'm going to do, I'm doing some eco printing fabric steam bundle dyeing. And to do that, I'm just going to rip a bunch of my marigold petals. I tried with Cosmos yesterday, but the Cosmos didn't give any exciting color, so I'm not going to bother with using them today. As long as you're packing boxes, you'll get there. Exactly, Frida, and I am. I've packed, like I said, almost entirely this room is packed. I have a box that is labeled Laura Office Drawing and Art Supplies, Paper Crafts, Laura Office Sewing Notions, Sewing Supplies and Sewing Patterns, Laura Office Dead Things, Journals, Handmade Pottery and Witchy Stuff, Art, Frames and Pictures, Laura Yarn, Laura Fabric, and what is that one? Oh, Sewing Machine and Accessories. Those are the ones I can see from here. I know there's also handmade sweaters and whips. I have a full box of work in progress projects. Your humor is on point this morning. You're killing me. Me? I'm funny? You like my humor? Well, welcome. Welcome to the show. This is why you're here, because I am a comedian. Or at least in another life I was. I do have a good mood this morning. I do have a good mood. I'm in a good mood. That sounds like someone who's French speaking English. I do have a good mood this morning. I'm in a good mood this morning because I've got therapy. If one of you could keep an eye on the clock, that would be amazing, because it's at 11 and I don't want to be late. And by late, I mean she's calling me. I don't have to be anywhere, but I don't want to be still on stream when she calls. I'm ignoring you actively. I don't know if you realize that, but like I can hear you're crying and I'm actively ignoring you because I know that you're going to be like, "Is that food what you're playing with, Mom?" No, it's marigold petals. So leave me alone and go bug your dad. This is Mommy's time. I'm telling my stories, okay? Good morning, Lori. Nice to see you this morning. Dead Things. I love it. Well, like there are certain boxes that I know I'm going to have to access, and by have to, I mean I know I'm going to want to access them, and I know my Dead Things are kind of like my decor, but they're all very important to me. It's like my important things box. Like my journals are like, if I lose them, I'll be really sad. If I lose my Dead Things, I'll be really sad. And if I lose my handmade pottery, I'll be really sad. So I put all that stuff together in a box so that I can just like have that box at the forefront of my moving stuff. So when we unpack, that will be like the first box I unpack. Oh my god, my cheeks are gonna hurt by the end of this live. Yay, friendship! Welcome to the group. Welcome to the team. Welcome to the Last Minute Laura morning show. But for real, I do have a lot of packing left to do, which is probably why I'm feeling so creative and so much like making all these arts and crafts things that cause a mess and require me to do a bunch of vacuuming and washing, because, you know, when you're about to move, the smart thing to do is to get into a whole bunch of arts and crafts projects. And that's what my brain has decided, is that now that we are in a time crunch, I pack a couple of boxes, I film something, I make something new. So I've been making stamps, I filmed 2 tutorials, I've packed 10 boxes. I'm motivated and I'm not organized. I can't say I'm organized. That would be a lie. But I am motivated and I feel good about where we're at right now. I mean, like, we're going to be moving a bunch of furniture on Friday, taking it to the thrift store, which is going to be awesome because then once a bunch of furniture's out of the house, I feel like it'll make a big difference in how everything feels. Like, it'll start to feel like not my home, which I think will help with, like, getting everything packed. So I've put a bunch of marigolds on this. You know what? Let's just screw it. Let's just put some bachelor's buttons and see what happens if we steam it. I know it's not going to give color that lasts, but I mean, wouldn't it be fun if it just left some little blue spots? I think it'll be fun. And also it'll show you that when I say it doesn't work, it's because I tried it, as opposed to me just saying things. Other people use zinnias in their eco steam print bundles, whatever this is called. There's a name for this, and I feel like it's eco print, but I don't think that's correct, so I am wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna roll it up now. I've got a stick, and basically I'm just going to put the stick at the edge of the fabric and start rolling the fabric around the stick. At one point, it'll just sort of start holding itself. Well, it was your home. Go around and say goodbye. Pat the walls a little. Yeah. Yep. I have literally lit my sage bundle every day and like walked around and just sort of, I've been feeling okay. I've been feeling a lot more okay about all of this than I was before. Before it was like very, like, just trauma, very upsetting, very unexpected and sad. Whereas right now I feel a lot more like it's like, I don't know, like we're at the after party. What is that called? After a funeral? You know how after a funeral you go to someone's house and you like eat food and talk about them and stuff? Whatever that's called. It's not a wake. A wake is when you're at the room where the body is. I'm talking about the after the funeral. After the funeral, when everyone goes to a specific place and is like eating food and talking about the person, that's like what I'm at. I'm at the funeral, reception. I'm at the funeral reception, basically, for my house. Thunder, I'm literally, I don't know how to tell you this. You're actively being ignored. Like, I don't know how you don't understand that, but I'm actively ignoring you. This dog, he thinks that these aren't food, it's marigolds. You know you can't have it. He tried to bite it out of my hand. MG, what did I miss? Mary Grace, I made sunflower granny squares for the first time last night. That's so fun. How many did you get through? All by yourself? That's awesome. And Dawn, good morning. Did I see Sid come in this morning? I feel like I thought I saw Sid come in. Dawn, I think that it just confused me. Your profile picture is just green, and when I see that, I think it's going to be Sid, because that's what Sid's color is too. Between you and Thunder, this is the best live ever. Oh, do you like the singing in the background? My dog is a bit of a drama queen. He's got a lot going on in his life. He's feeling overwhelmed. I can hear that you're overwhelmed. Can I finish this and then you can sit with me? Do you mind? The answer is yes, that he minds. Oh, hey, Sid, there you go. Hi. And the reception. Exactly, yes. So this is I'm currently in the funeral reception stage of moving. I've accepted that the death of my home is occurring, and I have survived it. Yeah, you're gonna be just fine. It's Peekaboo I'm more worried about, Thunder. You're gonna be fine. You're fine anywhere that's warm and quiet, and that's where we're going. But you have lived indoors. Peekaboo, this is gonna be her second indoor home that we're going to, so I feel like it's gonna be a big transition for her. I feel a bit sad for her. She's gonna be like, we're leaving, I don't know the smells here, because she lived near here anyway, right? Oh, finished my harem pants last night, so now I'm making alterations. That's cool. Crocheted or sewn? I want a pair of harem pants that is also a onesie. Like that is also a, aw, Frida, I think Pika will be fine as long as Alex is there. Well, Alex will be there. I hope that she'll be okay. It is gonna be hard for her though, I think, because again, this is her first indoor home, so to just be suddenly switched to somewhere far away that doesn't smell anything like our home, you know? Feel like she might struggle a little. Sewn of canvas. Oh, that's cool. Purple sweater with green sleeves, or keep it short with just a few rounds of the remaining purple? Purple sweater with green sleeves. Well, honestly, it depends on the purple and the green, Rebecca. Do you think you could share with us a photo of the purple and green options so that we can judge accordingly, or do you think you can describe them accurately-ish? Don't you see me down here, Mummy? I just need your love. Why did he become Russian? I need your love, Mom. Please. Yeah, cats have a harder time with moves. Give her a quiet, dark place to hide when you get there. Yeah, I'm imagining, because when people come to visit, she hides, and she doesn't come out the whole time they're there. Like, when Alex's parents were here, they were here for probably, like, less than, I'm gonna say, like, 20 hours. 15 hours. Like, they weren't even here very long, but still, Peekaboo was completely gone the whole time they were here. I mean, they did also bring a very large dog, so like obviously she was like not interested in that friendship. But she disappeared. I couldn't find her. Obviously she found a dark, safe space. So that's gonna be fun when we're moving. She's probably gonna just disappear in the house and scare the living daylights out of me. Okay, so I just finished my little bundle. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go put this in my steaming pot. I'll be right back. It's just a pot of water. The stick will hold the fabric from getting wet in the pot, and the steam will do some magic. So I'll be right back. You just listen to Thunder cry unless he comes with me, which he will, because he's a scam artist and he's not even sad or cold or scared or anything. I'll be right back. I'm just going to put this in the pot. Talk amongst yourselves. Hey, honey. At your convenience, would you make me another cup of tea? Thank you. Okay, so that's it for the eco. Why does this chair do this every time? Okay. This eco dyeing, that's done for now. So I'll put my stuff back into my basket, which will be used again because I'm going to do a video on my eco dyeing, plant dyeing. It's like bundle dyeing. Steam bundle dyeing. Cats invented safe spaces, right? Safe place. Give me my safe. They need safe spaces. Universities need them less than cats do. Cats require a safe space. Okay, so if you showed up late, what I just did was rolled up petals around fabric, and this is what it will do. It'll create this really cool sort of thing. I'll show you the side without stamps. So you could just see it kind of creates this really pretty pattern on the fabric of the natural dye. And then I just did it on fabric that I had previously stamped. It is natural dyeing, but it's not the same way. It's not like you create a dye bath and then submerge your fabric. It's like you dye the fabric with the flower petal aggressively. It's like aggressive natural dyeing. It's like a step past just regular old natural dyeing. Okay, now I need my crochet hook. I found all of the remaining acrylic in the house, I think, because I packed all my yarn, which filled an entire box. Yes, you need to pre-mordant the fabric. That fabric was pre-mordanted because it had been previously dyed. Same with like the flower hammering that I did the tutorial for a couple of days ago. You haven't seen that tutorial yet, but I did finish making the tutorial. Anyway, yes, it does need to be pre-mordanted, but it isn't, the full fabric doesn't get covered by the dye. It just the little specky bits that the flower petals were touching. Assertive dyeing, yes. It was assertively dyed. Also, here's where we're at with the granny square blanket, getting quite large. Will it be permanent? Yes. So, because the fabric was pre-mordanted, the stain will be permanent because marigolds naturally yield a really strong color with natural dye. If you used something that doesn't yield strong color naturally otherwise, then it won't be a permanent dye. Like if you used berries or something, it might make a pretty color, but it won't stick. Whereas since marigolds already are a strong natural dye provider, sorry, I'm just gonna move my mic back here so you guys get the optimum experience. But since marigolds have a really strong dye ability anyway, yeah, it should be permanent. That's the hope. And my plan for some of these fabrics is to sew them into something once I've moved. I've packed my sewing machine, so no more sewing projects. I also packed the avocado sweater, so that one's not getting finished before we move. I'm sitting outside in the sunshine trying to ward off seasonal depression. That is probably the best way to do that, is to sit out in the sunshine, which is why today is going to be a partially outside day for me as well. We're going to get a full day of rain tomorrow. So, and then Friday is going to be a day cold enough to kill off, I mean, I'm going to bet that my peppers will for sure all be dead, and that many of the cosmos won't make it, and I think the zinnias will probably be fine. It's not a hard frost, but it's still going to be frosty. So did you soak the material in? So what I actually did to prepare my fabric for the steam bundling is I soaked it first with dish soap and really hot water over the stove for about, I'm gonna say a couple of hours, because usually I turn it on low and then I forget about it, and then I go like, oh yeah, don't, like, there's that thing on the stove. Or Alex will be like, right when we're about to go out to do something, he'll be like, does the stove still need to be on? And then I'll be like, ugh, there's fabric in a pot there. So the fabric sits with hot water and dish soap for a couple of hours, steaming on the stove, and that's called scouring, which is basically it gets all of the waxy bits off of the cotton fabric, because that cotton is like very tough and you kind of have to like soften it down to get the dye to stick. That's not accurately how you would say what you have to do, but that's just my words for it. Anyway, after you after you scour the fabric, which is basically getting it really clean, getting all the oils, all the grime, all the dirt, and all of the waxy cellulose bits that are not gonna let dye adhere to it well. After you do that, you wash out the fabric, and then you soak it in hot water, steam again, like hot, steamy hot, over the stove with about, I'm gonna say for like a bed sheet size amount of fabric. Obviously it's not that exact size because mine are all ripped into small pieces, but about a bed sheet size, I would say, of fabric. I used about 1 cup of my iron water solution, which is basically rusty items that are soaked in a half vinegar, half water solution for, mine is like years old at this point because we moved it from Toronto to our farm, and now we're moving it again. So it's several years old, my iron mordant. But basically it's just like dissolved rust, essentially, is what you're going to be putting on your fabric. And that dissolved rust, that metal solution helps the dye particles adhere to the fabric. It also tints the fabric from white to a bit of a yellowy tone. It just gives a bit of a yellowy tone. Thunder, do you need to go outside? Do you need to go outside and go pee? Alex, would you let him out? Yeah. He's standing at the top of the stairs looking down at you, crying. I've had the strength to work a little in my smithy. Pics in Discord of progress. Let's have a look in the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, link below to my Patreon. It's $2 a month, and then you get access to that Discord channel where you can share photos of what you're working on. And Frida, ooh, very pretty. Weird. I don't understand. Oh, that's actually an interesting way to put the stone on a ring. Like facing out rather than up. Like a magical power ring. Pretty. Cool, well done, Frida. I'm glad that you're feeling better enough to do a little bit of work in the smithy. What if the fabric was blue? Does it change the color of it? So no, the base fabric would not be changed, but, well, why don't we find out? Let's do one more eco bundle, because I haven't done it on blue fabric. So the fabric that I have here is blue with, like, Concord grape dye, which technically is not stable as a dye. Candace, it's a very black cubic zirconia. Oh, cool. So it's not a stable dye, which means over time, washing it and exposing it to the sun will affect it, will have it fade. That being said, I've had yarn that is still blue. I've had handmade pieces that still hold their blue or green color for years now, so I don't really believe that you can fully say it's not it's not a stable dye. If you come in 100 years, it's not going to be blue anymore, but I've had things for years that are still blue, so I don't really think it's like aggressively wrong to dye things with Concord grapes. I've had a lot of comments on that video where natural dye experts are not happy about the fact that I've done a whole tutorial on how to do it with grapes. That is not a shelf-stable dye. That dye will not hold color. I'm like, okay, but it's like for fun. It's chill. It's gonna be fine. Good morning, Rue. I'm just doing a second bundle dye with some marigolds to put into my pot to steam. It needs half an hour to steam, so after I put it in, that'll be when the half-hour timer goes off. And if we're not done the stream, then I will show you what it looks like once it's cooled down. Oh my god, the grape debate, crazy people. I mean, honestly, it's a grape debate, and it's fine. Like, I get that. Like, if you're doing it for, I don't even know what reason it would, like, what is anyone doing natural dye for? There's literally no job that I am taking away from by showing people how to do it with grapes. Like, what am I taking away from the natural dye world doing that? So the only people I could think would be like, I don't know, like anthropologists, or like who actually has a real reason to be mad about it. Like, people are being like, you're deceiving newcomers to the natural dye community. And I'm like, I don't think this is deceiving. I think it's blue. And I think it looks blue for a couple of years, and I think I'm just showing how to make blue. I didn't say how to make blue that's better than indigo and will last many years. Like, calm down. And they're like, you said you mordanted the fabric, which means it's permanent, and that is not a permanent dye. And I'm like, okay, chill. Like, honestly, chill. Like, it's not that serious. Historians. But see, Dawn, even historians, I'm not saying that this is accurate to any time frame. Like, I'm not saying people used this. That's a fact. I'm literally saying, here's how I make blue with Concord grapes. And honestly, if you didn't have access to indigo and you had a party to go to and it was 1540 and blue was the in color and you had Concord grapes but you didn't have indigo, tell me you wouldn't naturally dye your dress with Concord grapes and then be like, we'll do Thunder, quit it. Hello? That's enough. And you're saying it will fade. Yes, I do say it will fade, but also, literally also, who cares? Like, that's the other side of it for me, is that it's like, okay, it'll fade. Sure, I said that, but like, also, genuinely, like, Find another thing to be upset about. So I just don't understand who this affects. Truly, like who, like, you know when people like angry comment stuff, like your instructions weren't clear, blah, 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 people leave like mean comments. When people say things like, this is not a stable dye, like you're not being a good natural dye advocate or whatever, I'm like, okay, but like, you weren't there. You don't know what people were doing. I'm just saying, if I didn't have an option and there was a party that I had to go to and I wanted to be wearing blue, tell me I wouldn't wear the naturally dyed Concord Grape Blue. No, I definitely would. And I would lie and say it was indigo and that I had enough money to store indigo for the winter and I'm just very fancy. If you're going to a fancy party and blue is the in color and the only way you have access to blue is through a dye that isn't going to last for 20 years, I don't know, I'm just saying. It seems a little sus that people think that just because something isn't long-term stable, it's not functional. I still think it's functional. Future generations will be the historians and it won't hurt anyone. Yep. Howdy all, hey V, good morning. Sid, right, Dawn, right? Exactly. And you weren't deceiving, you say it will fade. Yes. And I'm also not saying it's historically accurate. I'm now saying, as a response to people who say this is not a historically accurate dye, were you there? You said yourself the dye isn't stable, so you wouldn't actually know if it was there because it would have faded by now. So what you're telling me is that you're actually not really sure. Maybe Concord grapes were highly commonly used, and all of the pale, colorless cotton things that we have now, perhaps they were all blue with Concord grape dye. And now you're being like, people wore a plain cotton shift. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it was blue. Just saying. Isn't there a color made from crushed snails or something? There's a color made from crushed beetles. That's red. And there is a color made from crushed, I don't know if it's a snail. It's like a mollusk in the ocean. I don't know if it's a clam. I think it has a spiral. So maybe snail is closer to what it is. But there is a ocean creature that makes purple. Crushed snail makes purple. Thank you, Frida. It is a snail? Good to know. Empress, hello. Only have a couple minutes free, but I wanted to say I really like your style. All of your projects look great. Oh, thank you so much. Well, welcome. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you for your kind compliment. You think I have style? Thank you. And in that vein, who's to know? Maybe they would re-dye every couple of years to keep the color vibrant. Yeah, maybe. Right? I'm not a doctor. This is how much I dislike my wooden crochet hooks that I purchased X amount of years ago thinking, oh, they're so cheap. I should get a set of wooden ones. But they have so much drag that I hate them. Hate is a strong word, but I really don't like using them. Okay, so now I've got my second bundle ready to go in my steaming pot. Will somebody put a timer on for 30 minutes? That's how long this has to go into the pot. I will be right back. And yes, it's another day for sweatpants, for those of you that were wondering. Every day is a day for sweatpants. Honestly, I just need to find sweatpants that are also a floor-length skirt. I need to find a skort, but like instead of shorts, it's full sweatpants underneath. Okay, now I'm done with those things for now. We can go back to crocheting for a while, for 30 minutes. Sid, I'm currently in sweats. Same, Mary Grace. Although I have a handmade sweater on, handmade scarf, and handmade hat, so I think that I'm okay. I think I still pass the handmade, try and have like some part of your outfit be handmade, you know? Does anybody else try to do that? We are making the history. People will get so much data and diversity in all things. We are a big social experiment. Yeah, totally. In the future, it'll be so interesting to look back on this time and be like, they had computers and they were doing natural dye? But before that, they were only doing natural dye because they had to. But science. Same, Sid. So, I'm not sure if it's a snail or slug or whatever, but you know, snail-like. It's the shell part that they grind up. I'm actually wearing real pants to enhance the suggestion of wellness. Real pants? Like, when you say real pants, though, do you mean like yoga pants or do you mean like with a button and a zipper? Because to me, I feel like when you say real pants, there's a button involved. If it's not got a button, then it's not real pants. As a scientist, that would be my doctoral opinion. Slinky, great idea, no pants. No pants party. That being said, it's sweater weather season now. As you can see, a dog wearing a sweater. There are a pair of my favorite really wide pair of jeans. Oh, actual real pants with a button. Well done, Frida. You make us all look bad. I'm in shorts and a tank top with all the doors and windows open. Yeah, that's gonna be a no from me, Candace. It is a little chilly for that for me. It is warm out today though compared to Monday. It's pretty chilly on Monday if I'm gonna be honest. So today is not bad. I'm crocheting, Thunder. I'm busy. He sits right in my eye line so that anytime I glance, like, oh God, you're right there. You're in the only spot where you could be that I would also see. I've had to wear wool socks since the beginning of September. Mary Grace, I'm just wearing regular, like, socks. Nothing special socks. We're not quite at the wool socks temperature here yet. Pants are optional. Dawn, I like my metal hooks. I have a vintage antique set of metal hooks my grandmother had as a child. The thread or lace sides are just there. Yeah, but what if it wasn't just you, Alex? What if, in fact, it was an imposter here to rob us? That's what our guard dog is here for. So my circulation in my hand and feet sucks. I've heard of that, but I don't understand what it is. Raynaud's. My feet will be cold but sweat at the same time. It's gross and uncomfy. That's not helpful. Thank you for that. Not you telling me. I mean the disorder? Is it a disease? Is it a disorder? Is it a circulation disorder? Sounds proper, doesn't it? Circulation disease doesn't sound right. I don't know though. Real pants, light sweater, and hand knit socks here today. Very good, Rebecca. Hand knit sweater. I'm wearing a hand knit sweater too. I mean, I didn't knit it. I found it at a thrift store for $5. And when I found it, I was like, oh, this was handmade. It doesn't have a tag. There are like very minimal mistakes, but there are mistakes that I can see, like where they sewed it up in the end. If like there's a few spots where a stitch was missed when they were sewing it up. But this is, I'm like fairly sure this is cotton. I'm fairly sure, even though it, weird, I didn't know cotton would make a nice comfy sweater, like knit-wise, and it's all like design knitted. It's like, this was a lot of work. So when I saw it, I was like, somebody's grandma, probably, this is like an old looking design, it doesn't look like recent, somebody's grandma knitted a sweater, gave it to them, they liked it for a few years maybe, or wore it for a family photo, and then put it in the thrift store, and it's such a pretty sweater, and it's so comfy. And every time it's washed, it goes right back to being a beautiful, perfect sweater with beautiful designs. Like, it washes well. I love cotton sweaters. I feel like I don't know that I have any, and I think this is cotton, because it's not hella warm, and I feel like if this was wool and it was knitted like this, I would be hella warm in it, I would think. Joy, good morning, Joy. Sid, Frida, my daughter has these symptoms. Her hands and feet are always freezing. Huh. Sid, anxiety can cause that. I have the same issue. Great. Thanks, anxiety. I don't know, I've heard it called syndrome. Syndrome. Okay. What did I say? Disease. Well done, Laura. Mary Grace, my fingers and toes will turn corpse white because they get so cold. So I literally have to wear hand warmers, wool socks, etc. September to May. That sounds not like ideal. Like not an ideal situation. Wool is the best socks to keep warm even when wet, and silk socks are antibacterial. Interesting. So if you had like a silk and wool sock, you'd have warm, stink-free feet. Sounds great. I had a look at my favorite online secondhand store, and 4 of one of my favorite sweaters that I got from there. 4 at a second-hand store. 4 of your favorite sweater. That's convenient. That's a lovely feeling. I don't have a favorite sweater. I really, really, really would prefer to wear handmade sweaters. I think that I will try to find a way to only make handmade sweaters for now. Can you crochet socks, Slinky says, or are they mainly only knit? In my opinion, they're mainly only knit. I have seen people have crochet patterns for socks, but in my humble, what's up?
You said to watch for your time. What time should I be watching for?
Like 10:45 maybe? Anyway, you can crochet, but I don't think they stretch the same, they don't feel the same, and they don't hold their shape the same way. Like for socks that you're gonna wear with shoes, if you're gonna wear the socks at home as a slipper or as like a thick reading sock, sure. But I've not been able to find a way to make crocheted socks that makes me feel like I would actually wear them like socks, you know? You can also be anemic, so take iron or prenatal vitamins. They helped me. I take iron on every 3rd day because I'm like anemic, but not like worrisomely anemic. Worrisomely? It's not worrisome to me. It's just anemic enough that I go blind if I stand up too quickly. Like Laura said, it doesn't stretch the same, and I've heard some expert crocheters do it to push the boundaries of the medium. Yeah, so you can do it to force it, not to like make a cozy sock. I don't know, it's not going to be the same. Thought so, maybe I'll learn to knit just to make socks. That's honestly the reason that I want to learn to knit properly, is so that I can make socks. Because that's the only thing. That's not true. I want to learn how to make like a beautiful cable sweater, and I want to learn color work in knitting eventually. But most of my things that I make, I'm happy to keep making in crochet. One of my earrings is sore. Oh, it wasn't. I knew it wasn't centered. I could feel it. If you're worried about being anemic, you should really get blood work done by your doctor. Yes, if you're worried about being anemic, you should definitely get blood work done by your doctor. I am anemic, and my doctor told me to take iron, like, regularly. I don't need to take it every day, though. From my doctor, I learned that. That's not something that I just decided. I remember when I used to give blood regularly-ish, like I've given blood many times, and when I used to give blood more often, it was like a thing where it was like, they do this test, if your blood sinks, there was this thing that was in the ladies' cubicle, because you like go through like this test first. It's not a test, you don't pass or fail, but they like ask you, did you ever hold a monkey in France before 1985? And I'm like, that's a very weird and specific question, and I wasn't born in 1985. And they're like, we just have to ask all these questions. And the answer, of course, was no. But anyway, they ask a bunch of questions just to make sure that you haven't had, I guess, contact with stuff that would make you ineligible. So they ask you all these questions, and then they took a drop of blood from like your fingertip and put it in this liquid to see if your blood would sink, and if your blood doesn't sink, you can't donate. And mine would like hover at the top for way too long, and she like more than once I would be told like and then it would sink, and they'd be like, it's fine. Like I was on the edge. Obviously I didn't know what that meant, when I was donating blood, but then I got a blood test because I mentioned in passing to my doctor that when I am squatted down on the floor saying hello to an animal and then I stand up too quickly, I go blind. And she was like, that's not what everyone experiences. And I was like, okay, well, that's what I experienced. And then she was like, we should check you for your iron. She calls me honey. Part of me doesn't mind it, and then the other part is like, I'm not your honey, pal. My grandma was amazing. She used to knit animals and things into sweaters, had like 10 bobbins going, and was nuts and so cool. I would like to be that person. I want to be someone who's nuts, but in an awesome way, who children remember like cool, weird, lots of things going on, you know? Great crocheting. Hi, Claudia. I was always turned away from blood donation. I didn't get turned away. I don't think I've ever been turned away. But yeah, I go blind if I squat down and then stand up, but I don't faint. I just can't see. Sometimes if I've been down long enough, I can't hear either. You know, like before you faint, if you've ever fainted before, your hearing goes, I want to say numb. It's not deaf, it's like muffled. It's like the equivalent of how it feels when your foot falls asleep, but imagine if your ears could fall asleep. So it's not dead, it's just numb. That's what it's like before you faint, and sometimes if I squat down too long, that'll happen. I don't faint. I know I'm not, and I know I'm not going to. My brain is still clear. Like when you're gonna faint, you have like this feeling that you know that's what's coming. But it's not like that. It's just like, I'm blind and deaf for a moment. I just need to hold on until the blood comes back up to my brain. I went to donate blood once and my iron was too low. Yeah, I've never had it be too low. It's just low. It's not too low for anything. Like I'm not functionally anemic, or I'm functionally anemic. I need to take iron, but it's not going to be a big problem. Like if I miss a couple of days, I don't think. I mean, I've missed a few days before and I haven't noticed symptoms immediately or anything. So, but based on blood work, I should take iron regularly. Dehydration, oh so interesting. Definitely an interesting thing. Mine, however, is usually dehydration. Also a weird thing that your body like literally gives up on being alive if you're dehydrated. I'm on the edge of anemic. I apparently have no reserves, so I take iron from time to time. Okay, the edge of anemic. I was always super dehydrated as a teenager because I never felt thirsty. Well, that sucks. I feel like I was dehydrated as a teenager because I had the weird belief that if you eat or drink anything, you will gain weight. So I would not eat or drink as much as I should, even though water doesn't count, Laura. Or I would have a relationship with water where that was the only thing that I would eat or drink. I was on a rowing team, so that's not healthy, obviously. That is not a healthy way to live your life. But when you're a teenager and you have to be a certain weight class to be on a sports team, and all your friends are on that sports team, you do things that as an adult, I would go, that's so not good. Could you please not do that to your body? I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. Pick of my hand knit sock drawer. Oh my God, a whole drawer of hand knit socks. Ugh. Sorry if that was right next to the mic. Apologies. I needed to crack my neck though. A whole drawer full of hand knit socks. Frida, if I came over for a sleepover, you would wake up and there would be at least one pair of socks missing. Like, I'm not a thief. I'm not someone who would like steal things from people, but I would steal one of your pairs of hand knit socks. Preferably one that you also dyed the yarn for. I would aim for one that I could tell that you dyed the yarn for it. Although honestly, it kind of looks like you could have dyed the yarn for a lot of them. I see that awful yellow thing at the bottom of the one drawer. Join the Discord by joining the Patreon, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Note the weird yellow. It's a color I called Sour Lemon. Oh, that's a good name for it. Sour Lemon. That gives you an idea. I have my socks in a basket. I feel like if I had enough handmade socks to fill a drawer, I would have them in a shelf displayed. I love how they look. If any of you guys are like, I have so many pairs of hand knit socks and I don't even wear them. I just love making handmade socks. There's an address below where you can send any pairs of excess hand knit socks and I will wear them forever. I will patch them when they get worn out. I will hand them down to my children. I literally love handmade socks. Amber, good morning. I'm finishing up a pair of socks now. Well done. I'm on a mission to have nothing but hand knit socks. I fully support that mission in every way that I can. Very fully support that mission. Hand knit socks. Imagine only having hand knit socks. You know what I want one day? And by one day I mean this year. I want to make socks that have little lace around the ankles. I saw a lady at Fabricland when my sister and I went several weeks ago. I saw a lady with handmade socks that had lace around the top. You know, like little baby girls have lacy socks like that, but she was a full-grown adult, and I was like, I didn't know they come in adult size. I only knew that they come in baby size because I've never seen them on an adult, and adults can of course wear lacy. Why are we not wearing socks that also have more than just sock to them? Like, I don't want to wear an anklet, but I do want to wear lace around my ankle on my sock. So that is something else I now aspire to. You should add lace to the top of your sock. Can you imagine how much cuter is everything if there's lace around it? Everything's cuter. Laura, if you send me a cardboard tracing of your foot with measurements, I will make you a pair. Amber, I will do that. I may be on that mission also. Rebecca, I, again, fully support the mission. Those are knee-high, like they go over the knee and you fold the pretty edge down. It's for my knee-high rubber boots. Okay, I'm fine with your ugly yellow socks because they're for knee-high rubber boots. That being said, the yellow is still ugly, I must say. I will not change my opinion on the color of this yellow. There isn't anything yet that I've seen in this color that makes me feel good. Everything I see, every time I look down at this color, I go, ugh, I hate you. Obviously, I don't hate it. It's just yarn, but I don't like it. Check the Discord for pics. Let's... Oh my gosh, those are so cool! Awful color, but wow, look how pretty they are. Look at that pretty design and the lacy top. I love them, except for the color. And with your boots, they look so cute, except for the color. I love them, Frida, except for the color. Also, it's 10:27, which means that my first bundle of bundle dye stuff should be done. So I'm gonna go grab it, and then we can see how that first steam thing looks. So talk amongst yourselves briefly. I'll be right back with the bundle dye. My own design, really, Frida? Wow, that's spectacular. My ass looks huge in these pants. Yeah, Mary Grace, I had a brief moment where my brain said, you've stepped away from the mic, so the mic is off. And then immediately after I said my statement, my brain went, no, it's not. Of course it's still on, you big dumb idiot. So sorry. Didn't mean for you to hear that. So I have the first bundle. You can see there's steam on it still. Scissors? I don't want to use my fabric scissors, but I will, because I'm not somebody who should be trusted with scissors that are only for one purpose. Oh, it smells good. It's like cooked marigold. Tasty. Okay, so we're gonna see what happened. I thought your bum looked fine. Thanks, Amber. It's like, I feel like sweatpant bum is either super cute or like a diaper, and I feel like I am the latter. So this is so y'all have a good rest of your day. Oh, bye! I'm gonna head outside and see if doing some work will thrash my depression a bit, having a rough week. Sorry you're having a rough week, Sid, and outside should help a little. At least a little, right? I would imagine it'll help a little. I hope it does. Have a good rest of your day. Let me just unroll this fabric here. See if we got some fun colors going. So the steam penetrates all the way to the middle of the fabric, and we get all these nice colors on it. Honestly, this is not as bright as the one from yesterday. Maybe it's just because it's wet. Ta-da! I can't show you the final look because I'm not going to scrape off all of these mushy petals right now. I'm just going to re-roll it back up and leave it until later, until it's all the way cooled down, and I'll scrape it off. But there you go. That's the end of that. That's how I made it. That's how I did that. The blue one won't be done for a little bit, but maybe it'll be done before I have to go. Unfortunately, this stream is going to be like super short. I know we've been doing like 4 hours lately, and today I can only do like under an hour and a half, probably an hour and a half, because I have therapy. And then after that, Alex and I have a doctor's appointment that we have to physically go to. I don't know if you have a second one, but the timer still has 9 minutes. Thank you. The second one I'm putting as that timer in my head because I already took this one out of the timer. But it already steamed all the way through, so I feel okay about that. I have another blue one in there right now. Dyed with Concord grapes. I didn't make any grape jelly, which was a bummer, because the Concord grape season is probably done now, and I didn't make grape jelly, which means that I'm going to have to either purchase grape jelly, or get some grape jelly from my mom. I'm sure she made grape jelly, but also I don't know if she actually did or not. I feel like she did, but like, what do I know? I have to ask, I suppose. Let me see. Oh, that's fun! Like your own little Mary Jane shoes. Also, the dog, the very fuzzy bunny you have. Frida, those are cute. They're like little Mary Jane shoes. Oh, I still have lots of jam. Well then, Candace, you'll have to come over. I'll swap you for some, what do I have preserves of? I have lots of roasted tomatoes in olive oil. I have lots of green beans, spicy pickled green beans. I can make you a tea mix. I don't know. I'm trying to be thinking of all the things. Shoe socks, they're cute. Frida, I like them. I collected some lichens to make some dye. I'm hoping for purples. I hope for you for purples too, Amber. What kind of lichen did you find? I haven't found a lichen around here that will make purple, because we just have a lot of the kind that are like on dead wood, and it's like this, I don't remember what it's called. I know the name in my heart somewhere, but I can't pick it off the top of my head. But it's not ammonia reactive or whatever. If you drip a drop of bleach and then the color of the lichen changes to a purple or pink, then you've got the opportunity to make purple or pink in there. But if you drop bleach or ammonia on the lichen and nothing happens, you'll probably just get a yellow or a brown. And you can do boiling for those lichens. If it doesn't have the ammonia reaction, then you can just boil in water to get the color out, probably a yellow or a brown. But if it does have the ammonia reaction, then you can do the fermented dye like in a jar with an ammonia water mixture and the lichen, and then you'll have dye in a couple of months. My lichen was kind of green. It turned like a red wine color within an hour of the ammonia. That's cool. Kind of dreading using the dye though, since it smells so bad. Slinky, that's really cool, but also I totally get the not wanting to use a stinky dye. If you have the opportunity to do it outside, I would recommend, because I did that with, well, with everything. I've done everything inside, I'm going to be honest. But I did black walnuts, and they make a really stinky house. What else stinks up your house real good? English ivy stinks up your house really good. Not like, nothing specifically gross. Anytime I've used mushrooms, turkey tail mushrooms, shelf fungus from the forest. Anytime I've used forest fungus, it stinks up the house. It's not bad, but it's unpleasant because it's so much. Oh yeah, the hickory nutshells were very stinky. Yeah, black walnuts are stinky, and they're astringently stinky, like a rotten orange. The only thing I've smelled that gives the same sickly, astringent, heady, sort of musky, it's almost like an oil that you can taste in the air. I don't know, like, I hope that gives you like a good sensory idea of what it smells like, because I can't tell the actual scent to you, but the way it makes your face feel, it's like a rotten orange. The way it makes your face feel to smell a rotten orange is how it makes your face feel to smell black walnut dye simmering in a pot. I'm a scientist. Lichens. So lichen, Dawn, is not moss, not algae, and not fungus, but a combination. So lichen, the lichens that we have here on our trees are a cross between some kind of fungus spore and a blue algae bloom, and those things mix together to create a new hybrid alive thing, which is kind of interesting that lichen is also the name for werewolf, right? Lycanthrope is a werewolf, and wolfsbane is lichen something, right? So lycanthrope, werewolf, lichen is a hybrid between two creatures that already exist, algae and fungus. Lichen is like a, it's like a community. It's not like a one animal. It's like an agreement between two animals to become one animal, but they're not one animal. That's kind of what lichen is. Algae and mushrooms hybridize into this magical thing that can make dye, can convert carbon dioxide into oxygen, and can live for years and years and years. Very bizarre thing lichen is. But I wonder if that's why lichen became the nickname like for werewolves, if it has to do with the fact that it too is like a hybridization of two things, you know? Symbiotic organisms. Thank you for words that are easier and smarter than the ones that I use, Slinky. Maybe my sister will let me dye in her backyard. I think that you should ask her. That's what I'm gonna have to do this winter, because there's only one kitchen now where we're gonna be moving. There's only one kitchen, and I don't think I'll be able to bring, like, it's like an old kitchen, like a 1950s looking kitchen. It's very small, so I don't think I'll be able to do natural dye in there. I might have to get like a, what are those things called? Like a hot plate? I might have to do a hot plate. Lichen is a wolf. Oh, lichen is a wolf? Lichen is a werewolf in a bunch of my favorite werewolf movies. Resident bio nurse here. I got you, Laura. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. It's a symbiotic organism. I've got my resident nurse here. I've also got a resident software engineer, right, Rue? And I've got a mycologist in here somewhere, because we've got Nancy, and we've got, what else? We've got a lot of professions that help with the information that I try to convey so that it's a little bit clearer. At least I hope so. I know that I know things, I just sometimes don't know them properly. You know what I mean? Yes, here for all your coding needs. Rue, my Facebook logged me out. How do I get back in? Hey, Rue, the internet's not working. What should I do? Sorry, those are questions that Alex has been asked as a software engineer. So, I just figured you would know those answers. Gosh. A software engineer is a code monkey, not a hardware technician science. Call tech support. It's all we do, yeah. Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in again? That's how tech support helps. Did you try logging out, exiting, closing your browser, restarting your computer, and then logging everything in again? Why does that work, though, a lot of the time? Does that not make you feel like mild rage? Like, yes, obviously it's not like the answer every time, but there are like a lot of times when shutting everything down, logging out of everything, and then starting it back up and logging in works, which is rude. I find that to be rude, because that doesn't make sense. Hold on, what did you say? A minute left on the timer. All right, well, let me go turn off the heat on the pan, on the pot. You know what I'm using? I'm using my canning pot with the canning basket in it, which like holds the jars above the bottom so that the jars don't like shatter by bouncing on the bottom of the pot, and I put them on there. I'll be right back. Check your dye. Thank you, Dawn. Hello, you little weird dog. Natural Dye Bundle Steam. Part 2. This one's hot. I'm not going to open it just in case it didn't give me enough color. I feel like this one hasn't given me enough yet. Like the oranges didn't even do anything. So I think I might have to redo that other one. Crochet. Thank you. Software engineering means I know why. I know why. Have you tried turning it back on and off again? Should work, but nothing else. Great. Oh no, Millicent is giving me the stare. She wants to go out. Thunder has the stare for I would like snacks, please. He has the stare for I'm chilly, can I sit in your lap? And a different one for can I go out? By the way, I know I showed the blanket, but let me show it from farther away. Look how tall it is now. It goes all the way to my knee. It's a pretty good sized little blankie we got going on there. Little granny square dress. Just kidding. Imagine someone in a granny square dress. Obviously, I don't mean like a cute granny square dress. I mean like if it was made from blanket. I know they exist with thinner yarn. It looks great. Thank you, Kay. Also, good morning. Also, almost goodbye. Not goodbye yet, but I have to leave early, like I said. Because therapy is super important and I need to talk about my feelings. Granny square clothes have such crazy energy. I love it. Yes, they do. They really do. Oh, jeez, Louise. Sorry everyone. Sorry for you headphone users. I know that was really loud. Our smoke alarm went off for no reason at all. Literally no reason. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go now too, because I have to write down what I want to talk to my therapist about, and I haven't done that yet. So I need like 15 minutes to think. Because my did you think that was yours too, Ruth? Sorry, that was mine. I guess there was steam still. We're testing alarms in our apartment. Well, we're not. Our house just thinks it's on fire because we're leaving and it's not happy about it. Crap, you thought it was yours? Did everybody think it was theirs? Well, now that Thunder is beside himself because he hates the sound of that thing, let's wrap up for today and I will see you guys on Friday. Again, sorry it's so short. Don't forget to like the video if you don't mind because this one's not going to do as well because it's so short. So if you could click the like, I'd really appreciate it if you're in here. Crack my back a bit. I'm going to go to therapy now. So thank you for coming. I hope you had a good time. I will see you on Friday. Again, sorry, it's a short stream. Love you guys. Have a good day. Be good to yourselves. Write down what you need to talk to your therapist about. And thank you so much to my patrons for supporting me. I'll see you on Friday.